Welcome to Hiding Behind the Pages with Elite Speakers. I am Tracy Go-Getter Brooks, one of the co-founders of Elite Speakers, and today, interviewing one of the 40 women interview series, we have our co-founder, Chikeitha Owens LPC. Thank you, Chikeitha, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
We've been on a series literally today on an interview series, and man, does it feel good. So I just want to give a little background about Elite Speakers and the Elite Speakers Prep Hiding Behind the Series 40 Women Interview Series. Now, this is for you who have a book to sell or a story to tell, and you have been hiding behind those pages. We know you're out there, and we have quite a few in our circle, but we want to express to you that there is healing when sharing your story, sharing your pain, and that's what we're going to do today, is allow Chikeitha to share just a little bit about her story and her pain, and we can move forward in our 40 Women Interview Series with the other fabulous women that we have in lineup, as well as the men series coming up. So without further ado, thank you again, Chikeitha, for joining me, your co-founder, and just being a part of something so fabulous, so wonderful for us women, especially as women of color who have a story to tell.
Yes.
Yes.
So just a little bit about myself. I'm Chikeitha Owens, and I am a licensed professional counselor. So I provide therapy in an office setting. So in that setup, I'm actually healing people as well in the office and in their homes, because I do travel to their homes as well and work with the children. And so I also have a series called Girls Talking on Purpose, and it's where a group of ladies, all ladies are invited to come out, and we do this every other month to just share a little bit about ourselves. And again, we sometimes hear each other's stories. And so, and you can reach out to that at girlstalkingonpurpose@gmail.com if you're interested in more about that. A little bit about my story and what I have going on. I just believe that, your misery is your ministry, and whatever God has allowed me to experience in life, that I should be planting seeds, because we reap what we sow. So I should be planting seeds in the lives of other women to be able to help them overcome whatever strongholds and obstacles that they have going on in their lives. And so I will share a little bit about, I have 2 children. I have three, 3 adult, 2 adult and 1 5-year-old. And they all have, medical issues. And so my 2 boys, who's 21, and then I have one that's 5 years old. They both are diagnosed with type 1 juvenile diabetes. My 21-year-old was diagnosed at the age of 5, and my 5-year-old, he was diagnosed when he was 5 years old. And then I know I hadn't shared about my oldest son, who just turned 24, but he also has a medical issue with his legs, which is something that runs in the maternal part of our family. It's called spasticlegia, where there's a protein that's not reaching from the brain down to the lower extremities of the body. And so that's something else. That's a whole nother advocacy. I haven't talked a whole lot on, but that's something in addition to the juvenile type 1 diabetes that's part of my story.
Yes.
And my children's story. So that's, those are some of the main things that I have been advocating for right now. And so finding out that when my first child had juvenile type 1 diabetes, we were all over it trying to figure out, what were the best methods and things to do. And so now as technology has moved on, they have, the different meters, the Omnipods, all of these different things where you can literally check the kids' blood sugar while they're at school, just right here on your phone. It'll alert you when they're low and all of those different things. They have what do they have a pancreas that they have created, not an artificial pancreas, but it's not like the actual organ, Band-Aid that secretes insulin into the body. So technology is moving and coming up with so many different things to be able to help the children. But I advocate with Juvenile Type 1 Diabetes, and I'm on their planning committee now for the upcoming Type 1 Nation Summit that's coming up, and the Type 1 Walk that's coming up. And they just have an auction that's coming up. And so they have so much going on to raise funds for the research to further juvenile type 1 diabetes.
Well, that is such a wonderful cause, and that spreading the awareness you are doing at such a fabulous rate. And again, it's very important to understand the intricacies when you're dealing with a child with diabetes, because there are some people who do not know and they end up losing their children to diabetes. And Chikeitha has taken upon herself to educate herself and to educate her children as well. And that's part of her advocacy, is going around and spreading that awareness. And it's such a needed, we take small things like that for advantage, but we never take full advantage of the resources and the opportunities that are out there for us to learn more. So I thank you for that. And also hearing all these wonderful things that you have going on, as well as Elite Speakers. I think what you're doing in the community is, highly looked upon and honored. I totally am excited about what God is doing in your life.
Thank you.
As far as you walking in your purpose and being able to go out there and spread that awareness. And also, you're an author. Can you please share with the viewing audience the titles and some of the reasons behind your books that you've published?
Awesome, thank you. So my most recently published the workbook, and it's called Living Life for What It Is Examination Guide.
Okay.
The Living Life for What It Is Examination Guide is connected with the original book, which is Living Life for What It Is. And Living Life for What It is something that God gave to me. He gave this to me because I know that for a lot of us, when we get into our situations and we get into our trials, we focus on that situation. Sometimes so hard to take our eyes off the situation and focus it on God and knowing what did God say about that. So the whole book of Living Life for What It is really the opposite. Like, I don't want you to live life for what it is, for what we see with our physical eyes. I want you to live life for what it is, for what God says, and through his spiritual eyes.
Yes.
And so that's what Living Life for What It is was all about, is just taking the scales off the eyes and being able to help get you to that place to where you can see what God says about your situation, because everything that he has allowed me to go through, that it was for his purpose. I know that it was for his will. I know that in the end I win and that I would overcome. And so no matter what the enemy brings or try to bring or plot, I'm not looking at my current situation. I'm being content in my situation. And that allowed me to be able to write Living Life for What It Is, to be able to share about what that looks like. There's a chapter in there that's called Order and Disorder. There's a chapter in there that's called The Blame Game, because we're always blaming Satan for everything that happens in our life, but we don't take no responsibility for things.
Come on now.
We have to be able to take responsibility for the choices that we made, and reap what you sow.
That's right.
And so in that particular book, Living Life for What It Is, like, I can go on and on about it, but you got to go get your copy. And you can cash at me $12 at $speakingonpurpose, or you can go purchase it on Amazon, because they're both on Amazon. But definitely that book, I had a client come into my office, and I wasn't writing at that time. And she said, you know what? I really didn't even know this lady. She came in and she sat down and she just started ministering and prophesying to me. And she said, you know what? God told me that you're writing a book. And I'm like, really? I don't even know you, lady. That's what I'm thinking in my mind. Like,
yes.
What would he say?
When he didn't tell me what?
I know, right? And I'm like, I have in my mind, I'm thinking, I know that I was writing on a book, but it's in my hard drive somewhere. I hadn't pulled it out lately. And she was like, he said you're writing on a book and you keep picking it up and putting it down. Like she
my.
Picking it up and putting it down. But he said it's time out for that. This book got to be released, and it got to be released now.
So you gonna get that book out?
Yes. She said there are lives to be saved. Going to be healed. People are going to be delivered. And she just started ministering to me. And if I tell y'all, my heart just melted at that moment. Like I was just like, and so she said, and this is not the only book. He has poured books into you.
Yes.
So you got to go out and get it done.
Yes.
So for me, when she said, now that, and this is just, you know, just coming to me talking through this, that he has poured books into me. We're doing hiding behind the pages. You know, if you haven't wrote the book just yet, she said he poured books into me. So even though they haven't made it the paper to the pen, guess what? We can on the stage.
Yes.
We can go from page to the stage.
That's right.
So, I mean, like, so Living Life for What It Is, you got to check it out. But the examination workbook guide, it comes along to guide you. We got to examine ourselves through those relationships, through whatever it is that you're going through. The examination guide will help you work through the book. 20, y'all, watch out, because the abundance experience is coming out as well. And that is from a holistic approach. And it's going to take you on a ride, like a literal ride in the airplane.
Okay.
God's plane.
I love it. So
just know that there are risks when you get on the plane. When you accept and surrender, it's going to be some stuff you're going to have to take off, some stuff you're going to have to give up. And you just got to come to that realization before you get on the abundance experience level. So
nice.
Be waiting for the abundance experience.
Well, I will be waiting for the abundance experience. I've been blessed by reading your other books. So thank you for publishing those books. And it has inspired me to get off my duff and make my books happen. So I have my books coming out soon. You have your books coming out soon. Our speakers are going to have their books coming out soon. And I am so excited about what elite speakers are doing for us, what God is doing for us through elite speakers. Because it's all him. This is so divine, the way this whole venture came about. And hopefully one day we'll be able to sit down and tell y'all that story. But without further ado, Miss Owens, can you please, I know you've dealt with so many different, trials in life. If there was one thing that you learned that you feel our audience could take away and grow from, what would that one thing be that you would share with them?
I would say, and I would just kind of piggyback on what I just shared about living life for what it is, because that's pretty much where all that stemmed from.
Yeah.
Because those were things that I had to realize, that I got to take responsibility in what I'm doing. I got to find some order in this disorder. I had to, those chapters in that book pretty much are the steps that I had to take to be able to get to where I am now. And it's still a struggle, because there are many times when I'm in situations where my mind is focused directly on the situation. I've taken my eyes off of God. I'm only focused on what's going on right now. And it can be overwhelming. It can be overloading.
Yes.
It can get into a depressive state. And so my nugget that I would share today is stop focusing on your situation. Stop putting God in that box. Like he can't handle it.
He's bigger than that.
It doesn't matter. We don't serve a small God. So no matter what that situation look like, we serve a great big God. And because we do, there's no situation that we come up on or stumble up on that he can't handle. So take your eyes off of that situation right now. If you got bills due, your house in foreclosure, your marriage breaking apart, your kids done went wild, your husband on crack, whatever the situation is, it's not nothing that's too big for him. And so that would be my nugget that I would definitely share today, Tracy. And I just want to share one more thing that about the book that I was sharing about living life for what it is. I did a campaign last year where I gave away, my goal was to give away, I had this big number, 1,000 books, but I didn't make it to 1,000, but I ordered up a lot of copies of Living Life for What It Is. And everybody on my Facebook page, I just started going through in Messenger that I was connected with on Messenger and sending them, requesting their address. And I mailed them a copy of the book.
Okay.
There are many people that got free copies of the book already, several, because I made a list with their names and addresses. So I would tell you, if you have the book, definitely share your testimonies, and you can go to my page, Speaking on Purpose, share your testimony about the book, Living Life for What It Is, on there. And if you have not gotten a copy of the workbook, you can reach out to me to get that as well. So
now, that is so wonderful, and thank you for putting that out there. And hey, if you've gotten your copy, don't be shy. Let the people know how that book has blessed you, because I know I'm with this woman there all the time, and I know God has poured something great into her, because God won't allow me to be around somebody that is not on the same level of greatness and where I'm going. He's not going to place me in position with someone who is not as equal as great as I am. So I know that book has blessed you. So please go out there and give that testimony on how it has changed your life, impacted your life, gave you nuggets that you now live by today. Go out there and do so. And again, let me say this before we get out of here. If you have a book to sell or a story to tell, go to elitespeakers.weebly.com and register for the 40 Women Interview Series. Again, that is elitespeakers.weebly.com and register today. Chikeitha, I want to just say you are amazing, and please tell our listening audience where they can find you on social media.
So you can find me on Facebook at Speaking on Purpose, and I have a Facebook page, Speaking on Purpose. And if you're interested in my counseling, I'm at abundanceofhope.com.
Okay.
And I also have a Twitter page, Abundance of Hope, and my YouTube, Abundance of Hope. And
now,
so
y'all got that. If you're not feeling abundant after you leave there, you're going to leave with some hope. Because she's abundance of hope, okay?
Yeah.
Put that in your spirit and let it marinate for a minute.
Yes.
And so we are here.
Yes.
Go ahead, Chikeitha.
Oh, I was just saying, that's why we're coming up on the abundance experience. Yes.
Yes, yes. And you don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss your opportunity to share your story, because what God have in store for elite speakers and hiding behind the pages, these 40 Women Interview Series, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Y'all don't want to. I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just going to let God put the whip in the batter and make it work. And we were speaking earlier, Chikeitha, about when you're in the midst of doing something great. And this is something that I want to leave with y'all before we get out of here. The enemy, the adversary, the haters, they're going to be taking punches. Every time you take a step to your greatness, they taking a punch.
Mm-hmm.
They trying to knock you out, and they hitting hard. These punches I'm throwing is like 1,000,000 miles per hour, and they just going, and you're going to fall, but you get back up. And the enemy study fighting, and you study falling, and you getting back up, and you getting these uppercuts, and you getting knocked in the mouth, you getting knocked in the eye, and you getting knocked in the gut, but you study getting back up, and you still fighting. Guess what? Eventually, the enemy gonna get tired, because you ain't giving up. And he study swinging, and you study getting up. You better know one day he gonna put them hands up and say, I'm done. Let me go find somebody else who's a lot easier. So the moral to the story is don't ever stop getting up. You may fall, but as long as you can look up, you can get up. So always get back up and get in the fight, because it don't matter how long it take you to get to the end of the race, as long as you made it through. So with that being said, I just hope you guys have been blessed with this interview. I thank you, Chikeitha. Again, you can check her at Abundance of Hope everywhere because it's always nothing. And we thank you all for joining us. Again, elitespeakers.weebly.com. elitespeakersprep.weebly.com. That's where you want to go register for the 40 Women interview series and share your story. Don't be shy. Come from behind those pages, because that's the only way we're going to help others heal. There is healing in our pain. Believe it or not, there's somebody going through what we went through. There's somebody struggling to get to the other side that you've already swam through the storm. So this is your opportunity to help someone get across this. You could be a bridge through their storm by sharing your story. So I encourage you today to join Elite Speakers with the 40 Women interview series. I thank you, Chikeitha Owens, co-founder of Elite Speakers. And I'll see y'all at the top, because the only way up from here is to go up, baby. Thank you so much. And we'll see you next time on the 40 Women interview series. Take care.